Apple is creating their own credit card.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
Some interesting things about it. The card is going to have no numbers on it.
No numbers.
Yeah. And so from a privacy standpoint, I'm like, that's kind of cool.
It is.
But
okay.
what if you're phoning in to do something and you read out the numbers from your card? There's no numbers to read. How would that work?
I don't know. That's interesting to find out. Unless they have like names or letters, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like they showed in the announcement a mock-up of the Apple Card, and it didn't seem to have identifier of any kind.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting, and apparently it requires an iPhone.
Okay, so you need an... Okay.
So that is Apple all over.
That's Apple all over, so Android users...
Do not apply.
Yeah,
Android users do not apply. This is an Apple
strictly for Apple
exclusive thing. Yeah. And, you might have a MacBook, but if you don't have the iPhone, you're SOL, as I understand it. So that's kind of interesting. They're really narrowing. But, I mean, that's kind of Apple. They're often about like exclusivity and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
they want to be on their own, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because they're like... in the announcement, and this is where it gets really funny if you ask me, they say, we're not going to have access to your private information, because that, in the modern era, that is a concern. Like, who has access? If Apple has my credit card, are they going to know what I'm purchasing? Combine that with everything I do on my phone and my tablet and my computer. Like, that's a whole lot of information. That gets worrying. And so they tried to address that, and they said, don't worry, you don't have to trust us. We can't access your information. Don't trust us. Trust Goldman Sachs. Because they're operating the card. Goldman Sachs, are you kidding me? After the crash in 2007?
I was just going to say, did they not have a major crash earlier? Yeah.
And like, with the subprime mortgage crisis and the default swaps and all this stuff, all the dodgy stuff that Goldman Sachs was doing, the number of times that they've been fined by the federal government. And
how secure are their servers?
Yeah, well, and that's an interesting question too. But for Apple to say, don't trust us, trust Goldman Sachs, I would trust Apple, and I don't like Apple. I would trust Apple before Goldman Sachs, personally.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting ploy that they're making there. So some interesting things, and as this sort of relates to travel, is if you're looking for a travel credit card, one of the things you're going to need to look for is currency conversion fees. So, generally speaking, almost all credit cards in Canada, they'll charge you an additional 2.9% on top of the currency conversion for charges in foreign currencies. And they're not super transparent about it. You will often have it in a supplementary agreement to a supplementary agreement to your cardholder agreement. And that, as a business practice, I don't like. I don't think that's okay. There are some alternatives out there. The Home Trust Visa is what I use for travel and costs in foreign dollars, because I've checked, there is absolutely no foreign currency conversion fee, and you get 1% cash back on everything. So it's actually really good. It's just when this was all happening, that card was coming up. There's also something called Brim, which is a MasterCard that Sam has tried out that he likes, that has no currency conversion fee. And there are other ones out there that they give you so much cash back, it kind of counteracts it. But I don't like playing that game because, again, it's like, oh, we give you 4% cash back. It's like, yeah, but if you're taking 2.9%, it's not really 4%.
Not really 4%.
I don't like that kind of deceptive marketing. So I like Home Trust. Sam likes Brim. Works well for us. But because this was kind of being made known around the same time, that there was a huge run on applications for both programs. And so people were waiting like 6 months. I got my Home Trust Visa in like a month, but other people waited like 6 months.
Wow.
I don't know how long the wait period is now, but those are sort of the two options that we have tested out and we recommend to people who travel, because if you're just going to use your Scotiabank, your Royal Bank, your whatever card, you're actually going to be paying 3% more on everything that's not in Canadian dollars. So why do it? So this Apple Card allegedly has no fees. I went digging as deep as I could in the announcement, and I couldn't find currency conversion fee, but sometimes those fees aren't really identified as fees. They're kind of built into the currency conversion amount. But near as I can tell, Apple says no fees. And they're saying 2% cash back on everything. So it might be an option for if you have an iPhone and you're a traveler, you might want to consider it, because 2% cash back from Apple is better than 1% on Home Trust Visa.
Yeah.
But check those agreements and every supplementary agreement that they link to carefully for that foreign currency conversion fee. If you decide to go with the Apple Card or any credit card, if you're looking at